Welcome to the Enva He Meant Company Music Podcast with your hosts KP and Ashton Thomas. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
What's happening, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
I'm Ashton.
And I'm KP.
And you are watching the Enva He Meant Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
Y'all know what it is. And today we got ourselves another special guest, a very talented young man here joining us on the show. I'm delighted. KP's delighted. We're all delighted to have this young man on in the interview and get to know more about him. Y'all know him. We know him. Y'all want y'all to give a warm and vehement welcome to Aaron Stix Smith.
Thank you for coming on the show, Aaron. We appreciate you.
It's an honor to be on the show. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we good.
We are wonderful. We are ready to talk
good.
all things Aaron Smith.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
All things Aaron Smith. You are a musician and independent artist and band leader and instructor and all the things. Literally all the things. So we have to cover a lot of ground in this episode.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You are a drummer. Ashton's a drummer. So I'm going to let Ashton start us off.
Cool.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. Well, now you're living in the great Buckeye state of Ohio. I mean, but not a lot of people know you grew up in Indiana. So how was it? How was it growing up in Indiana? Who were you watching? Like, who were you influenced by, and how did you get acclimated into drums and music during that time?
So I'm originally from Muncie, Indiana, which is 45 minutes outside of Indianapolis. I grew up, of course, like a lot of church musicians. I grew up in church, watching my cousin play drums. I don't know what made me gravitate towards drums, but I've always just been just absolutely amazed and mesmerized by everything percussion, everything drum set. Man, it's so weird because like that time period or that era, it was a bunch of very, very gifted like prodigies that came out of Muncie. And so a lot of the people that I was watching were like either my cousin Jeremy Webb. He was like the first drummer that I ever like studied and wanted to play like. And then I had a homie named Joe Elliott, which he's a part of Be On It Productions, and you know he's doing his thing. He's actually out on tour right now. I can't remember who he's playing for, but he's out on like the Linkin Park tour. So he's like going all over the world. It's crazy to see like all the homies that I grew up with, you know, down the street literally doing their thing. Sean Davis, he's a bass player. He used to be a part of Be On It Productions, but he's been MDing for Danny Goki. I actually took him out with me with when we toured with Tina Carroll later on in our lives. But he's been my best friend since third grade, and he used to be a drummer. So it's like we all were drummers, you know what I'm saying? But then like, you know, other cats started gravitating towards other instruments and stuff like that. Another big influence of mine is it's all local guys like Trevor Woodgett. When I saw him, I was about 12 or 13. He was like 10. And I was like, who is this kid like killing like this? And like he got an older brother named Sean Woodgett, which he's a prodigy on piano, like classical king. So it's like I was around all of this random like gifted people out of a small city. It was kind of unheard of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so growing up in Indiana was, for me, it was great. It was safe. I was in a safe neighborhood. The neighbors supported what I did. Like, you know, I played in my garage as a kid, so they literally, I never had the police called on me. Like, they used to always, yeah, like, for real. Like, that's not everybody's story. Like, I would literally practice at, like, 10 in the morning, and there are people around who are working third shift. So they're just now going to sleep. And I got my garage door wide open and I'm just going for blood playing anything. And I'm a kid. So, yeah, some stuff sounds good, but a lot of stuff sounds pretty fried. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the moments like I'm trying to figure stuff out and, just being a kid. And so I think about those times and I think about like how pivotal that was in my upbringing and my development, and then as well as like having supportive parents. Like my dad would take me to all of my drum lessons every Saturday, because I was getting drum lessons at a local mom and pop shop called the Muncie Music Center back then. It was right in the heart of downtown Muncie, and you know they was just supportive. And mind you, my dad worked on the railroad. So like he was gone from Sunday to Thursday. So every Saturday he would take me to go, to my lessons. But then like every 2 weeks he would always buy me like a pair of sticks. So I would get like the Dave Weckl sticks, the
Oh yeah,
Steve
come on,
Gadd
somebody.
sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I was nerding out as a kid. So like I don't know. And then right in my backyard, literally, swear to God, I could hop the fence. There was another mom and pop shop, music store called Sight and Sound. And I would hop the fence and I would go over there every single day. And I can only imagine how annoying I was. Coming in there asking all kinds of questions, playing the gear, always just annoying them when they could just be chilling because it's a slow day. But here comes this kid from around the corner that can really play some drums. Like, we're just going to be nice to him because he's a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I think about all that stuff, man, and it really, it really transcended and kept me inspired to pursue music full time.
Cool.
So I would say living in Indiana was really, really amazing for me.
Yes.
And I don't have no regrets, man. I love being an Indiana kid. You know what I'm saying? Indianimal, what people will call me.
That's what's up,
every
man.
time, every time I say I'm from Indiana, like, oh, you're an Indianimal. I was like, hey, you know what? So I put it in my bio. It's in my bio.
Uh,
Uh, I'm an Indianimal. Just forget it. So I'm through and through Indiana. Like,
yes, sir.
I be going back and forth with cats about the Browns and the Colts. I know y'all saw me going crazy with the
Man.
Pacers being in the finals.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm like, ah! Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm Indiana through and through. Of
Yes,
course,
sir.
I love Ohio. I absolutely love Ohio.
Yes, sir.
But I'm always Indiana.
Well,
Dope.
speaking of kind of that, you did end up going to Berklee, right? And then did you transfer from
So,
Berklee to Indiana University?
okay, so what happened with that was, so I went to, so okay, so I graduated. I was supposed to graduate in 2010, but I was a terrible student, terrible high school student. And so I had to humble myself and go an extra year. So I graduated in 2011, but I'm
Okay.
class of 2010. And after I graduated, I really didn't know what to do. Like, my parents were like, yo, you need to go to college. You need to figure out something. And I'm like, bro, hell no. Like, I'm about to play music, bro. I'm about to play music. But so I tried to go to this community college for a couple weeks. I'm like, bro, this sucks. So I dropped out, and my parents was like, yo, you need to go to college. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to go to Ivy Tech, and I don't have no good grades to go anywhere else. And at the, Berkeley, it really isn't on. It's not like heavily on grades, mind you. Like, that plays a part. You know what I'm saying? That's important, but it's not like the focal point. Like, they didn't at the time. They didn't take like SATs or ACTs, none of that. So I'm like, well, cool. Like, if it's based on music, like,
Talent. You
I'm in
said, nigga,
there.
I
Like,
got that.
yeah, like, I know how to read. I know, I started learning how to read when I was 8. So like, I'm like, I know how to read. I know how to do all that. So I did the application, and they accepted my application. So then they gave me an audition. and I auditioned, which my audition was absolutely horrible because I did like a fusion track and I was like shedding on the thing the whole time. And like when I got done, they were like, "All right, so let's do something with more pocket."
Sounds like you. Very Aaron Cohen.
I was like, "Damn!" Like, cause I mean, I went in there and homies told me like Nick Smith was really really cool.
Oh yeah.
And like he hit me up and he was like, "Bro, play some jazz." I was like, "Man, F that. I'm about to show these niggas I can play." I think that messed up like my overall cuz at that time I had a mindset to like prove like I felt like I had something to prove. In reality I didn't. So that was my mindset. Like if you watch any of my younger videos, I'm like going for blood for no reason. Like, but anyway. So I went to Berklee in 2012. Make a long story short, I made it into Berklee. Like they accepted me, but I mean, I had to pay for it. Like I ain't get no scholarship, no type of nothing. So I'm like, dang, like I got in, but how am I gonna go? And so, my dad, and this is why I go as hard as I do now, if I'm being honest. Like my dad had to fill out, I think, man, it looked like a Harry Potter book of paperwork because he dipped into his 401k early. And at the time, it was $50K to go to Berklee. I think in total, it was like 63 that he had to take out.
Is this
And
per like year?
yeah, like a year. This was a year. So like the Berklee, so I stayed in 98 Hemingway. So at the time there was 3 dorms. You had the main dorm, which is 150. That's like where all the main classrooms and all that stuff. And then they had 270 Common Way, and then they had 98 Hemingway. I stayed in 98. And 98 was cool because you had your own bathroom.
Very important.
150, you had your own bathroom. 260, you had to share, like it was like a community bathroom. So, you know what I'm saying? That alone, and mind you, we have like there's a mice problem in Boston. So like they're
I heard
telling like
about that.
when I get there, they're like telling us like, yo, put cardboard under your door, cause you know what I'm saying, there's mice. And like, bro, mind you, I'm saying all this to say, to stay in those dorms for a half semester, it was 17,000. You know what I'm saying? So like my dad paid for all of that through his 401k and was penalized. Couldn't put money in there for 6 months.
Jesus.
But
That's
my
crazy.
daddy was smart though because he planned it, because then because he had surgery. And so the money that he couldn't put in there, like he like took off, like he was able to take off, and like it kind of evened out. It's weird. Like my dad's like really smart like that. But
It worked out.
anyway, the fact that he took out 60K for me to go to my dream school, that was really cool. So 2012, I left in 2013. I got really, really depressed. For one, like this is like the very beginning of like the social media age. Like Instagram was barely a thing. It was just all pictures at the time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, so
Facebook was like
like,
college. You had to have
yeah,
a
like,
college ID to get on there.
no, facts. Like, so on Facebook, like, I was putting up stuff, like, I was putting up certain statuses, and people don't really understand, like, my personality. And even back then, I didn't really understand my personality a bunch to really understand, like, what I should say and what I shouldn't say online. Cause, like, I'm the type of nigga, like, if I'm thinking about it, and I feel like I need to put it out there, then I'm gonna put it out there. But I've learned like that made people view me a certain way. So niggas knew who I was when I came to Berklee. Cause mind you, I went to Berklee with Sean Wright, Joe Cleveland, Nick Smith had just left. Matt Garska had just left. But mind you, like when I was going there, like signing up for classes, like these niggas was still there. Jan Hunter, like the top of the top, Taylor Gordon, like you know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of them got to know me outside of like my posts. That, mind you, like a lot of my posts wouldn't be from like a bad place, but like if you don't hear how I'm saying stuff and I'm blunt, it can come off as an a-hole. So like people thought I was like arrogant and all these other things, and so it caused me to like accidentally isolate myself. Now some of them, when I went there, they got to know me for me, and they was like, oh man, you know, Aaron, cool. But for the most part, Berklee at the time was very like competitive, and then like the black community there is very small, so everybody knows each other. And like I'm not focused on school. I'm going to school, but I'm not really focused on school. And I'm out here, you know, dealing with women, and I'm by myself for the first time. So I'm going crazy with that. I'm trying to
Wilding out.
gig. You feel me? Like I just was not focused. So with me not being focused, I fell into a deep depression, had a panic attack, and I was like, man, I need to go back home. So I went back home and realized like that was a humbling experience. Not saying that my Berklee experience was like absolutely terrible. No. Was it the best? No, but that's my fault because I didn't go there with with the right mindset. And that was my first time a guy like really humbled me, because it was like, you know, I'm from this hometown. Everybody knows I'm going to Berklee and all that. And like I stopped going to classes because I was hearing what people were saying about me and stuff like that, and it put me in a deep depression. Um, you know, so I came back and kind of revamped, and I started going to. I had an opportunity to go to Indiana University, and the person that I was under at Indiana University. So I took a break from school probably between 2013 and 2014. I started going in fall 2014. And I was there all the way up until 2017. And then, of course, I dropped out again. But I would say my most influential, you know, my second chance was Indiana University, and I was serious about school and all that stuff. And it really, really kicked my butt, but I was focused because I was like, bro, I can never do what I did at Berklee ever again. And I felt like I owed that to my dad. Like, I don't want my dad's money to go to waste, because he sacrificed that because he wants to invest in me and he believes in me. He loves me. So he would do anything for me. So the least that I could do is handle business. You know, you know what I'm saying? If he invested $60,000 and more than that, you know what I'm saying, when I needed car payment taken care of or rent or whatever it is, like my dad's been there. And not everybody can say that. So
Facts.
yeah, so my Berklee experience was from 2012, 2013, and then I went to Indiana University between 2014 and 2017.
Dope.
So that was really like my schooling, but I never finished. Like, so I don't have a degree. I just
All those
life be
years and no degree, huh?
yeah, life be life, and you know, I would love to get my degree eventually.
Oh
That
yes,
would be
sir.
dope. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what
for
you
Yeah,
feel
sure.
led to do, for sure.
yeah,
Definitely.
if I can find some time.
Gotcha. So, actually, and it's good that we got this far, and then because I actually met you. I don't know if you remember this. My boy Ellis introduced me to you. I mean, I knew who you were, but I met you personally back in 2014. And we can kind of use this to kind of see where you actually began your professional career, because it was actually it was a quartet musical with the Williams Singers in Cleveland, if you remember that.
Hold on, because we only did very few joints in Cleveland. What did the church look like? Was it in the hood?
It was, yes. It sure was. I mean, I
Was
could.
the church floor kind of slanted?
Oh my
That.
gosh.
Yep. That was. Yep.
All right,
Hmm.
bro. I remember that. Like the Williams Singers, no matter where we've been to Cleveland like maybe like once or twice. I remember that. Okay,
Okay.
continue. I'm sorry. I
So,
remember.
what was that? Was that when you first started professionally? Was that the first group you were performing and touring with, or traveling with?
No, what's crazy is
Hmm.
I started playing professionally at the age of 10.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I started playing at this church and I was getting paid $25 a week playing there. And then I did this church conference and the minister of music at the time, which he's my bishop now at my, at home. Um, he paid me $100. I was like, bro, I am rich.
Shoot, yeah, I remember.
Bro, you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So then he mind you, so his name is Keith O'Neal, and he actually had a record deal with EMI Gospel at
oh
one point
yeah.
in time. You can look up his record and everything. But he used to take me traveling with him and he would pay me. And so that's when I knew like, hey, I could do this and get paid. What? You know what I'm saying? Because, I'm 12, 13 years old doing these church conferences and stuff like that. But then also, one of the owners of Muncie Music Center, when I talked about Muncie Music Center earlier, when I used to get lessons, the owner is a saxophone player and he had the Dave Helms Project. His
Hmm.
name is Dave Helms. Bro, I'm 15 playing jazz and like smooth jazz and stuff
Oh yeah.
at bars. You know what
Yes
I'm
sir.
saying? They're like, yeah, you can play here, but don't go near the bar. And I'm 15 years old. So it's like playing professionally, I was doing that already. I think my first group ever was a gospel choir out of Indianapolis. I did some stuff for them first, but then I started playing for the Williams Singers because of one of my homies from it's a city between Muncie and Indianapolis. It's called Anderson.
Oh,
So Anderson, it was this cold bass player, one of the coldest in the world, named Peanut. His real name is James Warner. So all the Williams Singer stuff, all his bass is on there.
okay.
Um, One of my closest friends in the world, he's like a big bro to me. He was one of the first ones like, yo, let's call him in and see if he can do this Williams Singer stuff. And it was a keyboard player named Big Mike, from Anderson, Mike Raymore.
Okay.
And they were the ones that really gave me a chance, like told them about me. And mind you, like I knew nothing about quartet. I couldn't play the music right. Like I've had some of the most embarrassing moments, like playing just completely stylistically wrong. Like, yeah, I'm killing. Like they can see the talent, but stylistically, like it is just incorrect. So the Williams Singers were, I would say, the first ones to really like stick it out and actually sit me down and teach me
Hmm.
outside of, just hiring me and being like, yo, we ain't gonna hire him again. He he do too much.
Mm-hmm.
They taught me discipline. But then also
Right.
in the quartet world, Tony Bush is the drummer that I really idolized in the quartet world because to me, he just had the total package. He knew how to play the songs, he knew how to play them stylistically, but then he'll throw in some modern stuff.
Hmm.
So I'm like, oh, so you can be modern in quartet because everybody just think it's the
Right.
whole time. And I'm like,
Right.
no, like it's way more complicated than that, especially playing the Williams Singers because the Williams Singer stuff is like quartet slash like funk slash,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So it's
Absolutely.
different. But I learned a lot of stuff from Tony Bush. I always tell him, I always give him his flowers. But
Yes sir.
yeah, I started playing for the Williams Singers at 19. As
Hmm.
soon as I graduated high school,
Word.
I had my
Okay.
first gig with them.
That's cool, man. So from there, and I know this is around that same time. So your transition to Cleveland, like what were some key components that made you say, well, maybe it's best that I move here and get away from home? Like what were some things that you would say made you make the move?
Okay, so first of all, what made me make the move is my wife. Um, Plain and simple. I loved Cleveland. I really did, but the reason that I moved here mainly was because at the time she was my girlfriend and she already had 3 children that are in middle school at the time, about to transition into high school. And at the time I didn't have any kids, right? And I got her pregnant. And I was living in Nashville at the time. So at one point in time, I was going back and forth between Cleveland and Nashville because I
Oh my
didn't
God.
want it to look like I was shacking up to my
Right.
parents.
And he was like,
but I had a whole house in Cleveland with Vash, but we weren't married yet. You feel me? So I was doing 1 month in that because originally I was just in Nashville full time. But when things started really getting real with the baby and stuff, I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get a house or whatever, and I'm gonna go 1 month in Cleveland and 1 month in Nashville. But the middle ground was Muncie. So what I love about Indiana is it's central to every major city.
No,
Any
yeah.
major city is from 3 hours or 5 hours at most. So I could always make my jump to Cleveland. I can go home. I can go to Nashville. I can go home. So I was still music directing at my church in Muncie. So, um, yeah, that was like 2018, the beginning of 2019. My daughter was born April of 2019. And so I permanently moved to Cleveland September of 2019. That's when I was like, I'm fully here. I'm about to find a different church. I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I was like fully in. But that's when we got married. So
Gotcha.
then I was like, all right, let me go ahead and really tap in. So so I would say 20. Now, mind you, I was dating Vash. We started dating June of 2015. So I was already coming back and forth. So I was already making noise. Like she was having me sitting in at Take Five. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? They had the musicians night where I sat in front of everybody and I'm like, all right, I'm about to just blaze because I'm in a new environment. So I'm about to just whoop ass. That I mean, that's my mindset. So, but I started getting gigs. So then I was traveling here more and more. I was like, bet I'm getting gigs and I get to see my girl. This is great,
a
you
win-win.
know. But Cleveland was also a culture shock for me because Cleveland is so gifted and talented. There's
Yeah.
so much grit here. Like it's just there is nothing like a Cleveland musician
I
like
will say, very
that's
musical
got it.
city.
You know what I'm saying? If we look in the major industry, there's so many people from
Yes.
Northeast Ohio in general, for not just Cleveland, but just Northeastern Ohio, that are just some of the greatest ever.
Hmm.
Those are facts.
Absolutely.
So when I came here and I'm going to Take Five, I'm like, oh because mind you, at the time, like Indiana really didn't have a scene like that. It wasn't like no. So when I came to Cleveland, that somewhat got a scene. I'm like, oh,
You're
there's
like,
a
it's not
Kenny
just me.
there, there's a Kenny Bell here. There's a Theron Brown here. There's a Leon here. There's a John Turner here. There's a like all these. There's a Kyrie here. Like
Hmm.
there all these killing cats, all in this area. So it just made it easier because I'm like, yo, like these niggas push me a certain way too. Like there's a lot
Word.
that I've learned from Cleveland musicians while being here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Or
yeah.
not even Cleveland, but Akron, like
Yes.
this whole area. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I'm grateful. But yeah,
Yeah. It's funny that
I,
you mentioned Take Five because I remember that me and my boy Ellis, we went out to I think inside the Nebula, and that night Kenny Bell cursed us all out at the end of it. You remember that?
oh yeah, I do remember
Uh-huh.
that.
I'm like, and that was the
Oh,
first day I met Kenny. I'm like, oh Lord, okay, kind of.
I know,
I'm
man.
like, oh no, but Kenny, that's my guy. But that
Yeah,
first time
yeah,
I met him, I'm like, oh Lord, I better get my stuff together before I try to gig with him. So
bro. Yeah, Kenny, man. And that's the thing, man. Like it's cats like him that made me see something different. Like I was like, oh, this is different. I was like, I'm thinking about myself at this time. If I'm being honest, I'm like, nigga, I can capitalize here.
yeah,
I can learn from
Of
some
course.
niggas, and this is a good breeding ground as far as like to make sure you stay on top of your stuff. But of course, there's cons. I don't want to necessarily talk about the cons. We all know like Cleveland is Cleveland, and we just gonna leave it at that. And you can take it however you want,
uh,
but you know what I'm saying. There's
mhm.
cons, but overall, there's been more pros than cons. But if I'm being honest, I've been really leaning towards Akron lately, as far as scene
Oh,
wise.
Yeah,
so a possible move in the future.
In the future,
in the
yes.
future.
In the future.
Possibly. Whatever God says, huh?
Okay. So, we've talked about your childhood and how you ended up in Cleveland and working professionally. So, like, kind of like you're your own artist as well. So, when did that journey start? And walk us through the process of like you writing or arranging a track and what comes first, and just walk us through
Okay.
what made you start like saying, "Hey, I want to record my own stuff," cuz like that's different. That can be different for some people, like going from playing for other people to actually like creating their own.
hmm Um, well, first of all, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? That's a very interesting question. But it starts with I don't know, the first time I got GarageBand, I was like, oh, this is raps. Like, I think it goes even before that. Like in sixth grade, my mom got me, I'll never forget it. It was a Yamaha DGX 202. It's like a kind of a toy, but kind of not a toy. It's like an advanced toy keyboard. You got like a little pitch bend, you know what I'm saying? But it had the ability to record, and you can record like 5 parts. So like I could lay down like keys, I can lay down bass, I can lay down maybe some strings or a lead or something, and then like drums. You feel me?
Mhm.
It started with that. I'm like, oh, I can record my own songs. Like, so I was always making up songs as a kid. Like always making up songs, always trying to figure out chords. It's like, yeah, people know me for drums, but it's like I play a little bit of keys, not a lot, but I play enough to get my ideas out.
Yes, sir.
Um, I was always doing that. So then when I had the ability to record, but it's crazy because it even starts before that. I had a, I literally had a karaoke machine with a microphone, and I tied it to the lamp that was at the top of the garage,
this
bro.
this visual is
And
hilarious.
bro, we had a band called Generation Five. Sometimes we would trade off on drums. I would play keys. Joe would play keys. Like we was doing this stuff as kids. So
Mm.
we was always making up our own songs, having our own band. That's never gone away. So as technology advanced, as I started figuring out things, when I started buying my own computers and all that stuff like that, and figuring out GarageBand and stuff like that, I've always had a love for sounds. I've always had a love for certain music, certain chords. It's always been more than just drums to me. Like I hear the overall thing, and I've always wanted to come out with my own music. So, I mean, I have hundreds of some of the oldest tracks from 2010 that absolutely suck because I'm trying to figure out Reason 4 and GarageBand and trying to create loops and trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to do those things as a kid. And so it just kept evolving to the point to where like now I guess I got to a point probably when I was probably about 22, 23, where I actually wanted to start coming out with my own music on like platforms. That's when I started like really thinking about it. Cause I'm like, it's not really registering in my head at the time that like I'm a whole brand and I'm a whole entity, and that I could really capitalize and do my own thing and not have to worry about trying to play for this person or try to go on that tour. Because a lot of my friends, mind you, they're very successful musicians, but they've built their name
Off of
off the
somebody else.
backs of an artist that they've played for.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, I thought that was what I wanted to do. I'm like, if you asked me 15 years ago, what is it that you want to do? I'm like, oh, well, I want to play for the biggest artists and tour all over the world. But now my mindset is completely different, because one thing that all my homies tell me is, bro, like, and they could be on the biggest tours going all over the world, everything. Bro, what you're doing is what I want to do.
I can see that.
You're doing what I want to do. I want to do my own music. I want to come out with my own music. I want to have my own band and do shows with my own band. And so for the longest, I thought I was a failure, because if I'm being honest, I didn't get my like first legit huge like mainstream gig until I was like 28. You seeing homies, and you looking at social media and stuff, and you seeing niggas getting put on at 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
And so that caused me to really, really lean into God and truly trust him, so that he could minister to me, so that I can understand what it is that he has me doing. And for me to not compare my life and my path to somebody else's, because you don't know the type of things that they got to deal with, the type of things they got to go through, the type of spirits and demons that they deal with whatever they're doing. And you just have to be grateful for what your path is, and the fact that God even has a path for you. And so, I don't know, that's in college, that's how I think now. But in college, like, I'm like, bro, I got to start coming out with some music. I had some ideas. So I'm thinking like, okay, if I can come out with these melodies, and if I can get other players that I want to play with on here, to collaborate with me, and some singers that I really, really like, maybe I can come out with some dope music. Because I've been coming out with all these ideas, and I just wasn't confident in my music all like that. I think I started working on 765, my EP. I started working on that in 2014. I didn't come out with that till 2020. But the ideas, the concepts, people writing on the stuff, like, the music over time evolved, and I was able to finally have a product that I was proud of in 2020, of 765. And mind you, I met Chastity. Like the second day of Berklee. So we went to Berklee together. She wasn't there long. So it was a money thing with Berklee. That's all they cared about.
Yeah.
She had like a scholarship or something, or some grants or something that was supposed to hit. They fell through. They told her, yo, you got to get up out.
Yep. She
And
told us the whole story. Shout out
oh,
to
okay.
Chaz for being
It,
on the show and being a supporter of the
yeah,
Name and Company. We love you, Chaz.
yeah, Chaz already know I'm a big fan. She's like and I say this with all respect, my wife knows this, but she's like my like music soulmate, as far as
Mm-hmm.
she gets me musically.
Yeah.
If I send her a track right now, like, hey, can you write to this? She'll have something the night of, like, hey, I got this. I'm like, perfect, thanks, bye.
Right.
Like, I
She's
don't
the
have no
best.
adjustments, no nothing. Like, she just gets me. But we've always been like that since college. Um, but she was on it. She wrote it. She wrote
I
to it. It
know.
was a
Hold You Down is one of my favorites from 765. I love it so much. And that's before I even know who she was, like, for real. When I first
yeah.
started listening to it, like, year or two, three ago. Like, what? She's
Well,
amazing.
first of all, thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate
of
it.
course. Listen, we are fans of everyone that comes on this platform, okay? Like, fans first,
Oh yeah.
all of
I
that.
appreciate
So
that.
we know your
Nah,
work, Doc.
no, I appreciate that, because what's funny is, Hold You Down actually started as I had got this opportunity to be music director for the NBC World of Dance tour.
Mm.
It was the most random opportunity. It was dope. I took like my homie Sean Davis. I took Kenny Bell, and me and Kenny was just cooking up random like tracks for them to dance to while we played live. And I already had the basic foundation of Hold You Down done. Because mind you, this is the time when I was going back and forth between Nashville and Cleveland. So when I was in Nashville, I was living with my brother-in-law, Andrew Castleberry, Drew Castle, which he's an amazing writer who's written for,
Yeah. Salute to Drew
man.
Castleberry.
Yeah. Like, y'all got to get him on here, but he's a superstar. Anyway, so I was living with him, and I was in his room with all my little studio stuff, and it was a sample from Splice that struck the idea. And then I came up with the beat or whatever. I did the synth bass, and then I did the lead. I did that. But like I said, over time it just grew when other players got on it. Then I got real bass on there, and it just evolved. And then eventually I did a video for Zildjian because they came out with these like in-ears. So I did this video for Zildjian, and I played to that track. They didn't have no name, no nothing to it. And Chaz was like, I really love this track. Like, let me write to this. I'm like, okay, bet. Like, let's go. She wrote to it. I was like, yo, I gotta come out with this. This is perfect. But we cut that in like 2019. And like I said, I didn't come out with it till like a whole year later. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. At the end of the day, to tie this up with a bow, I say all this to say I've always been creating music. I think me looking at myself as an artist didn't really start until like my early 20s, because I always just saw myself as a drummer or a producer. I didn't see myself as the artist until 2019 or 2020, when I started kind of looking at myself like, yo, I'm building like an empire low key. I need
Okay,
to,
because the Aaron Smith experience is who
yeah,
you
like
are. Okay.
I'm like, what is,
It's a
and
whole
people,
experience around this mother.
yes. So, and people had to remind me, like my wife used to remind me, and at the end of the day, no matter how many people say things to you,
You got to believe it for yourself.
you have to believe it.
Right.
You have to
And
believe it for yourself.
I also got sick of waiting for gigs.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
hard.
man, I was like, F it, I'm the gig. Like, if I'm just being honest, because, confidence level and momentum, I've literally seen whole musicians, my closest friends, get depressed because they're not gigging. Because somebody called somebody else and they thought they homeboy was gonna call them because that's their homeboy, but they called the industry guy.
That's a whole nut. Like that's a
whole nother
that's like
episode.
a whole nother
We'll be on
conversation.
here. We'll be on here for 6 hours
And I'm
talking
trying to
about.
tell you, we have been on this thing for hours at a time, diving into like all kinds of stuff. So listen, if it
Listen,
wasn't like this time of night, but
I
like,
know.
but like with all that being said, the Aaron Smith experience, you being an artist and coming into that and starting to gig on your, just gig on your own stuff. And, when did the endorsements happen? Like you're endorsed by Zildjian, right? And
Yep.
Pearl drums and how, like, tell us like how that happened. Cause I know a lot of musicians want to know even how to get endorsed and what they need to do. So like shed a little light on that for them, like
Yeah.
on that process and how that
Yeah.
happened for you.
Yeah. That's no problem. I the endorsement game has been a long game for me, and for many years I didn't understand it. I didn't properly understand it. I didn't. There's a lot of things that was skewed and that I have to get out there to the public that want to listen to me, because I promise you I know. So my first endorsement was I was 17 and I signed with Soul Tone.
Soul Tone.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Soul Tone. That's oh.
So I signed with Soul Tone Symbols, right? That was my like idea at the time. I saw all my favorite drummers playing Soul Tone at the time. This is still the MySpace days. All right. So we seeing a bunch of these low quality videos of Ron Allen, Nick Smith playing, you know what I'm saying? Really it was Ron Allen. That's the nigga that really I was like, that's who I want to be like. Anyway, so Soul Tone Symbols, I signed at 17, I believe. What was I in 17? This is 2008, like 2009 type vibes. Um, and it started with that, and pretty much the issue that I have with Soul Tone, even all the way back then, is they use the word endorsement as really a marketing scheme for them to sell their symbols to drummers.
Yep.
They what they did at the time, I don't know what they do now, of course. At the time when I was 17, they were like, hey, welcome to Soul Tone, we welcome you with open arms, blase blase. And then they give you this list of ridiculous amount, like at the time the list price of these symbols were ridiculous,
Oh yeah.
like vintage K like prices,
Right.
right?
Yeah, I was
And
endorsed to Soul Tone at one point too, so I know it.
all right.
Oh.
So I'm telling the truth. All
Right.
right.
Uh-huh.
So then they hit you with a 70% discount. So you think, hey, if I get this 18-inch crash for $175, 200, then I'm good. But if you think about it, at the time, you could get a zillion K
For the exact
at the
same
time
for the exact
for
same price.
200.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I bought my first cymbal, my first real, like first real professional cymbal. I bought it at 13. It was after tax $206 for a 16-inch K Dark Thin. I'll never forget it.
Right.
All right. I'm paying the same price for these Soul Tone cymbals that I have to sell all my cymbals that I already got to get they cymbals. It just don't make sense, right? So I started kind of already thinking like that. And mind you, like, I'm sitting over here because I'm in the game. I switched I went from Soul Tone. I left Soul Tone. I started playing Sabian as a fan. Then I had an opportunity to play TRX. So I signed with TRX. The reason I signed with TRX at the time was because Jamal Moore was with TRX at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, that was the best drummer in the whole wide world to me. I idolized Jamal Moore at the time. So I wanted to play TRX just like him. Found out I didn't like TRX. Went back to Sabian. I was playing Sabian. And then I had an opportunity to sign with Supernatural Symbols. If anybody remembers Supernatural
Yes.
Symbols.
Mm-hmm.
Hated those. Hated those. Went back to Sabian again. And so then I got rid of my Sabian. Nope, you know what? Man, there's been so many times I don't even want to go through it. There's been so many times where I switched like from stuff, trying out stuff, trying to be signed with these smaller companies. These small companies operate different than like the major companies. Okay. So let me fast forward. I got my first real endorsement at 21 years old with D Drum Drums.
Yes.
Okay. So I signed with D Drum. My private instructor at Berklee named Marko Dorjevic. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up. He's absolutely an amazing jazz drummer. Marko Dorjevic was with D Drum at the time, and at the time I was playing D Drum and loved D Drum. And so he wrote a letter of recommendation and sent them a video of me playing. And they took a chance on me. And I thought that was really, really cool because, like, I wasn't nobody at the time. You know what I'm saying? And he also did the same thing for me with Zildjian. Now, mind you, Zildjian was on a signing freeze at the time. And at the time, it was Sarah Hagen that was the rep. And so she pretty much told me all the way back in 2012, hey, you are very talented, you are very gifted, and we're going to be watching you. But we cannot sign anybody right now. So we'll be watching your career as it blossoms. Oh, all right, cool. All right. So I'm with D-Drum. All these years go by. I'm playing Sabian in college. And I get a letter of recommendation from Marcus Baylor, which he was the drummer for the Yellow Jackets.
Yep.
Marcus Baylor wrote Sabian, the rep, and told them, like, hey, pretty much you guys need to sign this kid, take a chance on this kid. At the time, I don't know why this individual, he just wasn't looking my way, and that's okay. I took it personal. So I was like, all right, bet. I ain't about to play Sabian because I already know Zildjian messed with me. So I started playing Zildjian again. And dang near right after that, I got signed with Zildjian. And so I got signed with Zildjian officially in I want to say 2018. That's kind of when all the endorsements, like the real, like the ones that I've always wanted all of my life, like those ones like happened and like all fell in my lap in like 2018. So
Yes, sir.
at the time I had signed with Evans Drumheads. So once I signed with Evans, then I signed with Zildjian. Once I signed with Zildjian, then I signed with Pearl. And then at the time, I was with Groove Gear. So then I was signed with Groove Gear, signed with R-Tom. During the pandemic, I got an opportunity to sign with Roland.
Oh, yeah.
And so everybody knows I play all Roland keyboards. If it's not Roland, then it's Moog. But for the most part, all of my synthesizers at the studio is all Roland. Everything that you hear on all of my records is all Roland everything. So yeah, when it comes to endorsements, it's really cliche. Like everything that I'm about to say is really cliche, but it's all about relationships, and relationships take time. They're not forced. People have to understand that like these reps are hearing from people like you who want to be signed with them all day, every day, all the time, calling their names, trying to email them, all that stuff. And it really takes somebody, if I'm being honest, it really takes somebody in the inside that is already established to walk you in so that you can avoid all the bull that comes with getting to know a new rep. If I'm being honest, who really, really helped me and had my back with Zildjian are a few people. Wendell Holmes was one that, had my back. Of course, Marco Dorjovic, Sean Wright, Aaron Spears. A lot of those people spoke on my behalf. And when I got signed with Zildjian, I got signed with Zildjian cymbals and drumsticks. And when it happened, is kind of a very rare thing that you hear about it, but it's kind of a fairy tale. So there was one year that I went to NAMM specifically to talk to Zildjian. I was like, I got to talk to Zildjian. They know who I am. I just have to just meet them and shake hands with them, and I believe that I will get signed with them. Like that's how I felt. So I went to NAMM, and I went to it was like the last day, and I was literally patiently waiting because I didn't want to bug Sarah. I didn't want to bug anybody. Because they'll shoo away like the young eager kids or the eager people. Because at NAMM show it's thousands of people coming at them all the time. They don't want to hear anything. But I don't know, like Sarah actually took time to talk to me. And that rarely happens at a show. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" "All right." Like they're real quick with it. But she was just like, "It's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being so patient with me. It's been a lot going on." Like she held a real small conversation with me, and I don't know, maybe I think she noticed my bag. My bag was full of Regal tip drumsticks, but she was like, how about we sign you on for cymbals? I was like, yes, please. Like, first of all, getting signed with a major company at a trade show is really, really rare. So the fact that she was like, how about you come on for cymbals? And then she looked at my bag. It was full of Regal Tip drumsticks. The Regal Tip really wanted me bad. And they was like, well, how about we sign you for cymbals and drumsticks? And I was like, excuse me? What? Like, this is a dream come true. Like, as a kid, I played all the Zildjian drumsticks. Like, I love Zildjian sticks. Like, so it was at home.
Yeah, I
But
had them.
also it had a lot to do with, like, some of my homies was like, yo, go talk to him. Like, he's really solid. Like, he's dope. You know? The same thing happened with Pearl too. J. Rod Sullivan helped me with that.
Oh yeah.
And he told Pearl about me.
So
And
relationships and community, like literally.
yes, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
But
It's
tell them what a real endorsement looks like. What looks like and what you get from that. Like, do you
it
pay
depend
for the
it
equipment? Are you getting it for free when you're on the road? Do you call them and they have it ready for you? Like what is a real and like a real endorsement look like?
it depends on who you are. There's tiers. There's levels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, usually when you first get signed with a company, unless if you're like a Dave Weckl or you know what I'm saying, or a Dennis Chambers or something, like, no, you're not about to get nothing free. You're not about to get nothing free. You know what I'm saying? Unless if you're just that caliber guy. And it's not that, I mean, when I say that caliber guy, meaning like, not only are you playing for the biggest artist or whatever the case is, but you yourself, like, you got to be that guy. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And it's not that many. So, most cases, a lot of cats will get signed, and they pay for stuff, and that's okay because paying full price, especially if you go to Guitar Center, I'll take an endorsement any day. But there
Okay.
are levels for me personally. I have real good relationships with Pearl. I got real good relationships with Zildjian. And you get what you negotiate. When you know your value, you get what you negotiate. This stuff is negotiable. If these companies value you, then they'll be cool with certain things. Now, am I going to ask for a ridiculous amount of things? No. Like, I don't need a ton of stuff. I got enough stuff. So when I do get stuff, it needs to be what it need to be, though. You feel me? Like, you know, I'm to a point where, like, I have a fully custom kit, you know, right now. And then I can't go backwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I didn't start off with that. My first endorsement kit with Pearl was a Session Studio Select. You know, after I did a really, really great, showcase at NAMM show for them, they gave me a kit, you know, and that's not everybody's story. Sometimes people have, discounts, which is cool. Like I said, it's just different levels. It just depends. Like, sometimes, depending on who you're endorsed with and depending on your status, your level, they might recommend you for drum festivals. So I was honored to, be a part of the Tam Tam Drum Festival,
Damn,
which
Tam,
is
yes.
one of the biggest, if not the biggest, drum festival in the world, in
Mm-hmm.
Spain.
It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? So I got to do that, and I'm freaking talking to the crowd, and I got this translator speaking Spanish, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, the stuff that I'm studying YouTube videos of other people. I'm like, how are they talking, and where are they pausing to make sure that the translator can, translate without it interrupting or being, I'm thinking, like,
You overthink
I'm,
it. You was like,
yeah, like,
I'm
I'm
just
looking
trying
at
to be
all my heroes.
prepared.
Yeah, like all
Yeah.
my heroes, you know what I'm saying? But Pearl and Zildjian was the reason for that. They were the ones that paid me to do that, not Tam Tam.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, there's perks and there's benefits. All yes, there's perks and there's benefits. Like you say, if you know your worth and what have you, know how to negotiate yourself, and yeah,
but you got to be realistic too, you feel me? So, like, yeah, you got to know your value and stuff, but some cats, they be overshooting. like they feel like they need to get free gear and all that stuff, and it's just like, okay, but we don't know you outside of you playing for who you're playing for right now. That doesn't mean that you just deserve all this free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you
Just
know what I'm
doesn't work that way.
saying?
But some people think it does. So that's why I wanted you to like break it
Nah,
down, like a
nah.
good endorsement deal and what that comes with and what, how that goes and all that. So that's
And it
exactly why.
and it just depends on if you fit the mold for what they going for at that time. I've seen some of the most talented musicians, talented drummers try to go for Pearl or try to go for Zildjian, and they were overlooked, so they had to go somewhere else. And it
Mm,
has nothing to do with their ability. It has nothing to do with who they play for. Sometimes it's just like, all right, we got enough of those type of drummers, or all right, we've exceeded our budget, so let's take a freeze on signing people. We don't know the ins and outs of how these companies work. You know what I'm saying? Especially with, the drum industry as far as sales is, I can't imagine how low they could possibly be with, you know, you're not gonna always sell a $15,000 kit all the time, every single day.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you gotta think business wise when it comes to these endorsements. And then it's just like, yeah, how can they help you, but also how can you help them?
facts.
And it's more than just you just, oh yeah, I play Zildjian. Like, no, are you really showcasing like a quality sound from their cymbals? Like, are you showcasing their creativity? Like, what I'm saying is, I got a ton of followers, and Zildjian knows I'm very particular with my sound. So, like, the type of access that I may have, not everybody has. But also, I have a great relationship with my rep. So, I'm able to get prototypes. Not all the time, but I'm able to get prototypes. So, I'm trying out stuff and I'm trying out new sounds and weird sounds, and people are like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "This is Zildjian prototype. Like Zildjian, if you like this symbol, tell Zildjian to keep making them."
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of guy, like where I'm showcasing. I don't gatekeep. I tell people what I got. Like if you wondering what type of symbol it is, I'll tell you what the idea was and what where it came from, and what the inspiration was and all that stuff. So I'm thinking like eventually in my drumming career, I would love to, design some cymbals with like Zildjian or something,
Mm.
or design like a snare drum or design drums, because that's another thing that like sparked and fueled my passion for music is the gear. That's the fun part.
Oh, certain. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yeah.
Nerding out on that and the type of symbols. What's the difference between brilliant finish and natural finish, and what's the difference between a maple snare and a birch snare or a babinga snare? Like, what's the difference between a 6-ply and a 20-ply? Like, I was asking them type of questions as a kid, so I was different.
Sure.
I was reading the catalogs, the brochures of the product
You
catalogs,
are.
looking at the beginning and seeing all the artists saying, I'm going to be the face of one of these magazines one day.
Modern drummer.
Yeah, like I was that type of kid.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I don't know. So once you get to a point where you getting free stuff, you start looking deeper into how can this still be a beneficial relationship between us. It's like, yeah, y'all give me the products, cool, that's great, I'm fine with the products. Now let's focus on this. Are you promoting my band? Are you, putting me in other clinics? Are you paying me for clinics? Are you, you know, but you got to make sure that you are a valuable asset to that company.
Mm.
I know I'm
Sure.
a valuable, yeah, I know I'm a valuable asset to Zildjian. I know I'm a valuable asset to Pearl. If
Mm.
I left any of those companies right now, there will be people in my inbox selling their stuff to play whatever I'm playing next. I know that.
So, so let's talk about the new single, shall we? So I'll Be There For You featuring the one and only legendary artist Doobie Powell. So and it is crazy because that was a song definitely tailor made for Doobie's sound. I feel like it seems like you were very intentional about putting that song and then having him on it. So what would you say? Would you say that's that was the case for this?
Bro, absolutely.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I've always, first of all, okay, the number one greatest, okay, literally the number one greatest artist in the whole wide world to me is Doobie.
Hmm.
Like, ever since I first heard on his MySpace page, All Right,
Uh,
I've been hooked ever since.
gotcha.
He does no
Okay.
wrong. Period.
I still play it to this day, the original All Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I've studied Doobie through and through. My sound is Doobie. Like, chords is Doobie. Like, just everything, literally. I've studied him through and through. When my day is going bad, I put on Doobie. When my day is going good, I put on Doobie. I listen to Doobie. My kids know Doobie. Like they got favorite Doobie songs. It's we Doobied out over here. So I don't know. I think I was in my studio and I was just like, man, I was just hearing a sound. And mind you, like on I Be There For You, I played everything. That's one that I'm really, really proud of because all the keyboard parts that you hear, except for, of course, the solo, that's Doobie, of course, and his piano solo. But all the synths and all that stuff, bro, that's all me.
Hmm.
That's all me. And then I had Jordan Wright play the synth bass because
Okay.
whenever I play synth bass, everything be sounding the same. So I was like, nah, I gotta get somebody different. So I had him play the synth bass, but all the synths and all that stuff is me. So I listen to Doobie every day, man. He's a part of my life. He's changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just get him. So I remember people was making a bunch of they were criticizing Doobie for some stuff online.
Hmm.
And they were like, somebody said, yeah, for Aaron Smith to sound just like you need to be, instead of collaborating with all these other people, you need to collaborate with him. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, bet. Say no more. So I made a mental note of that. And I asked him, I was like, dude, we've been, like, mind you, I first met Doobie officially in 2012 at the Doobie Shed when I was at Berklee. I drove 2 hours to Hartford, Connecticut to go to the Doobie Shed. It was happening the same weekend I was signing up for classes. And since then, I'm like, bro, like, you big bro. Billy, Kevin, I got to know them. And then they was real cool with the Williams Singers. So a lot of Williams Singer stuff either Doobie has produced or it's some type of collaboration of featuring Doobie, featuring the Williams Singers. They do a lot of music together. So we was doing a bunch of shows with Doobie and all this stuff. So I was just getting to know Doobie more and more. And we just became brothers. And so I just asked him, I was like, bro, I have this track that I just hear you on. I was like, will you do me the honors of just, let's do a song together? And he was like, bro, yes. He was like, yes. But mind you, this was like I recorded this in like 2021. And he told me like there was a couple things that I needed to change because originally I had like dummy drums on there and I didn't use like a ballad snare. I wanted to use a ballad snare, but I
I was
used a
about to
different
ask about
snare.
that.
Yeah, he told me to change he was like, man, change it to like a ballad snare. I was like, man, good thinking, because I was already thinking that, you know what I'm saying? But but yeah, he told me to do that and I was like, all right, bet. So we thinking the same way. But that's really the only suggestion that he made. He didn't tell me to change anything. He
Yeah.
didn't add anything other than his solo.
Hmm.
Evan Taylor, he's a part of RDAA. He did the horns. All my horn arrangements, he does. Of course, Jordan Wright is a keyboard player in RDAA. He did the synth bass. So I pretty much use the same people. I'm trying to build something like
Dope.
with my core group. You know
Dope.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and when I got it back, when I got his vocals back, the dummy vocals, I cried. I did. I cried because I'm just like,
This
yo,
is happening.
Yeah.
this is happening and I got a song with Doobie. and I put it on the shelf for a while, trying to get all this other stuff done, and life was life and stuff like that. But if I'm being honest, what put a little fire under my butt was recently Doobie's he was sick, and I mean, it got to a point where he had to cancel his tour.
Yeah.
He had to cancel his birthday gala
that I was going to, everything. Yep.
And
Yep.
so I was supposed to be playing for him on his tour, and he actually sold out Blue Jazz.
Yep.
And yeah, man. So when that happened, and mind you, I brought him up earlier. Peanut, the bass player that played for the Williams Singers, he passed away in May. One day after his birthday, he turned 40.
40?
He turned 40 and he passed away. So then 2 weeks later, another a close friend of mine, his name is DJ, he's from Muncie. 2 weeks later, he passed away at 40. And I went to go see him because I had heard that he was on hospice. I went to go see him right after Peanut died. And I talked to him about it. He was like, man, Peanut dying, man. That was crazy, wasn't it? Like, he was going blind at this point. Couldn't even see me. And I was like, yeah, bro, he's gone. He's like, nigga, how do you think I feel being on hospice? And he just died. And I kid you not, 6 days later, he was gone. So niggas that I watched grow up, leaving here, and then Doobie having his sicknesses, I was like, yeah, I got to come out with this music.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So
so
you can
I
be
had to
around and hear it and see it, and
exactly.
like, and we just had him on, and you already know that's my nigga. Like, I
Yeah,
love Doobie. That's my homie. Like, love him to death. So to have him, I was like, we gotta have you on the show. He was like,
yeah,
next week, let's do it. I don't care when. Come
yeah.
on. So like, I definitely understand that. Like, and the
He
song
didn't
is incredible.
he didn't
Like,
even he didn't even charge me. He didn't even so okay, so at the end, because I told him, I always tell all the artists that I collaborate with, I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's split the song 50-50. Or let's split it however many ways we need to evenly so everybody gets an even cut. I'm not trying to take a bigger cut from any of this music.
mm-hmm.
This nigga Doobie tells me, bro, don't even worry about it. You can have it.
That's Doobie.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, and if I'm being honest, since I've been releasing music, the most popular song has been Hold You Down, and the second most popular is No Need. But this is now the most popular song with him.
I've listened to that song probably like 3,000 times. Like, I ain't gonna even hold you.
I
Like,
appreciate that.
that song is fire. Like, the production, of course, and then Doobie is just who he is, and that just like, it was just a perfect combination. It's everything. And Doobie just has this way with words where it's like, you don't know if you listening to R&B or if you listening to motherfucking jazz or if you listening to gospel. This is inspirational. What am I listening to? He just has that way where it's just incredible. You're getting what you need however you need it from what he's saying every time. And you
And
really don't know what you can be whatever. And it's gonna come
he
across the way it needs to come across. And that's the Doobie Powell effect. Period.
listen, there are so many things, like especially that song. There's been times like where I was listening to the raw version and I'm just listening to his lyrics. Hey, what's going
You
on?
sound like he talking
What
to a
am I
woman. Then it
doing? Where
sound
am
like
I
the Lord talking
going?
to you. That's what I'm saying.
How am I gonna make it through the storm and the rain? Like stuff like that. And I'm going through stuff. It's like, how am I gonna get through this? You
Man,
know,
don't even get me started.
that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, he wrote that like he was going through some stuff.
Right, but like also too, like you don't know if he was talking to a significant other at points or
Yeah.
if he was talking about the Lord helping
Mm-hmm.
and talking. Like you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's like the
Yeah.
Doobie thing. Like, you
It
really
is.
it can be
It
whatever
could,
it
it
needs
could,
to be. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah.
And I know because I didn't, like I said, I didn't listen to the song about 3,000 times, and every time I'm like, what am I listening for now? Jesus, I Need You, or Lord,
Man,
what?
nah,
You
facts,
never know. So
facts.
yeah, that song, that collab was like incredible.
Yes,
All
indeed.
right, I got some crazy ones coming though. No, just wait.
What do you
That
want to like let the pod like let them know a little bit of what's going on? What you
I
got coming
mean,
up? Like I
you know,
mean,
I can name some names if you want me to name some
I
names.
mean
Like,
you can do what you want. Like listen, you
okay,
want to give a little
I
preview? You
mean,
want to
hey,
spill a little tea?
1991 it's really gonna be legendary. Like if I'm being honest, like of course I got Doobie on there. B Slade is on the song. Amber from Moonchild is on the song.
Mm.
Mickey Miller is on the song. That's Big
Oh,
Sis, Mickey.
Mickey. I'm
Yeah,
waiting
we
for
got
her
Mickey.
patiently. Every time I see her
Hmm.
post on IG, I'm like, are you coming with something? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Legend. Okay. All right.
So just to name a few, like then
Just
I
to name a
collaborated.
few.
Then I collaborated with Button Masher on some joints too. If y'all know who Button Masher is,
Yes,
which he
sir.
freaking won a Grammy making 8-bit music. You just don't know what type of geniuses you're around. Period. Point blank.
Mm.
Like he has a freaking Grammy. Uh, I've also worked with Rob Arousal. He's one of my most favorite like pianists in the world. Like I just got all kinds of just crazy, talented, legendary musicians, artists, that's going to be featured or that's had some type of hand in this record. And so I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Yes, sir. Also, salute to Button Masher. I met him when he was going to Overland back in
Yeah.
2011, 2012, and we've been friends ever since. So,
Yep.
salute to him.
So I need to know about again, you're a teacher and instructor, how that has impacted you as a
Mm-hmm.
musician overall because you're teaching the future basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
how that helps you make your decisions in your career and things like that. And then also we need to talk about, we've talked about Aaron experience, but we want to know about RDAA, like you're a whole brand and entity, like you said. So we need to talk about this umbrella of brands that you have built underneath that name.
Yeah.
We can't leave that out.
Absolutely. No, I appreciate you. So with the teaching situation, so I work at School of Rock. I work at two different school locations, and one thing that I really appreciate about School of Rock is, for one, they're very supportive of my crazy schedule. If I need to leave and stuff like that, I can come back home and still have a job. But secondly, when it comes to teaching, first of all, it helps me articulate, how to explain concepts better. Um, it helps me come up with different exercises or different things that can help drummers. I've literally have seen drummers that literally knew nothing about the drum set, knew nothing about how to hold their sticks or anything, and now they're playing multiple songs, not just one song, but now they're in shows and they're doing, so it's beautiful to see the development of children and adults
Mhm.
that are part of the school program, become, at least achieve the goals that they have at hand. But it just helps. It makes me feel purposeful, giving back, sacrificing some time, going into the local scene and pouring into those who are willing to learn from me. And so, like I said, it helps me even with clinics when I'm doing clinics. Um, when I need to explain concepts, explain things, answer certain questions, I'm able to answer those things, do those things, give examples of those things, and literally explain to them to a T what it is that I'm doing. So that's why I really enjoy teaching. Like it helps me just become just a better teacher. And, you know, I think what helps me become a better teacher as well too is all the amazing teachers that I had in my past that were patient with me, that loved me for me, that, listened to me when I needed to talk or, taught me certain things when I struggled with certain things, whatever the case was. So I just want to, still be that bridge from this generation to the next generation.
Yeah, that's
Word up.
dope, and that's what's up because we need that. Like, we literally are raising the next generation of like artists and musicians and creatives and
Hmm.
Right.
all the things. So to have you like out here, not just being great and doing your own thing, but pouring back into the kids and all of that is incredible. So shout out to you for that.
Thank you. I try. I really try. But
That
it's
is
worth it though.
awesome.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
worth
is.
Absolutely. I
Yes.
know it's fulfilling. So RDAA, give us the spill on that. What's happening with that? How that come about and,
Well, RDAA kind of came about because I went through a phase where I wanted to play jazz and fusion. But I also wanted to like play some crazy music with a band. I just wanted to have a band. And so I kind of put like my first show that I ever put together, I just put some random people together that I just really admired. And for the most part, that crew worked. You know, there's been some changes, but I pretty much have the same crew. Everybody was kind of on the same wavelength. Um, and you know, we just want to just have some fun. Really, that's really what RDAA is. Like, we some homies that are up on stage having fun. Um, and I want to keep that environment. So I really like to work with people that are like minded, and it takes time to build it. You know, we're building something from scratch. So one show could be sold out, the next show could have 20 people, and so you know me. You know, I'm appreciative of the band because there are moments where yes, I can pay you well, and then there are moments where I can't pay them because we're in the beginning stages. I'm still trying to find, you know, grants and all these other things and, you know, to fund, you know, our EP and all this other stuff and getting our original music done. You know, just starting from scratch is hard work, but it's been worth it. We've done some music, you know, we've done some jazz festivals. We got a show coming up at the Jazz Kitchen in Indianapolis, which is actually a very, very high profile jazz club. So that's pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it's just really just us having fun, just my closest friends, and we're actually making some stuff happen, you know.
you guys have a single out right now, right?
We do get back up, yes.
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 So that one's pretty cool. That's a song that was kind of created in a phase of my life where I was very depressed. Um, and when I heard those melodies, it motivated me to kind of stand back up and brush myself off and be like, bro, like you got this. Like that's how the melodies and the chords make me feel like empowered.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why like every song, the name of the song is it's for a reason. It's not nothing random. It's like how I'm feeling at the time. So there's a lot of these songs on the EP for RDAA that will have like really, really deep meanings. Like there's a song called Second Chance. There's a song that's called I'm Still Healing. So they all got some purpose to them as far as where I was mentally while I was dealing with things and creating at the same time. Because God speaks through chords. Like I don't
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
God will speak through some type of melodic something. And, you know, there'll be moments where I was creating certain things or I'll get certain files back from Evan, his horns, or, you know, and I would cry, you know what I'm saying? Like it's that deep, you know? So RDAA is therapeutic for me. You know, I get to kind of live out my drummer dream
Mm-hmm.
of being like a Dennis Chambers or Dave Weckl or something where I kind of do my own band stuff and I can go balls to wall whenever I want to and nobody's going to say nothing to me about it. Um, you
Oh,
know, and
I
people
love
being,
it.
you know, people be amazed in the crowd and stuff like that. And we're getting really, really cool opportunities. It keeps getting bigger and bigger. We just got management. So
Awesome.
things are going up and I'm just glad that like I have the right people around me because for a minute I didn't have all the right pieces and some stuff was hindered. God was hindering certain things until certain people dropped off. You know what I'm saying? And so, I wish those people the best, and I love them, and I don't wish no harm on nobody. But I'm going this way, and you going that way. It's as simple as that, and that's okay.
And that's
That doesn't
okay.
mean that doesn't mean I'm beefing with you or nothing like that. Like, I ain't got no beef with nobody, but I got to do what God told me to do. And one thing that I've learned is, whenever I'm disobeying God, He kicks my butt.
Ain't that the truth? He is definitely gonna kick our butts for
No,
real.
for real.
Yeah,
So
that's what's up.
yeah, so I'm grateful. I think some special things are gonna happen with RDAA. We just gotta keep going. There's so many things happening in 2026 that I can't really talk about yet, but just be on the
Hold
ride.
on. Hold
Yep.
on. Okay, so
Just
my
hold on.
last question, what do you wish more people understood about being a working independent musician in 2025?
Ooh, that's a good question. Goodness. I want people to just be authentic. I think that's the most important thing. I think that's really the thing that is missing in music nowadays is authenticity. So many talented and gifted people out here, and it's a lot of just people that play a lot of notes and play a lot of things, but it doesn't have this in here, the authenticity. Um, a lot of cats sound amazing, but a lot of cats sound the same. And we think about, if I'm being a drum nerd for a second, like Dave Weckel's Dave Weckel because he sounds like Dave Weckel.
Right.
Steve Gadd is Steve Gadd because he sounds like Steve Gadd. Like, you could turn on records. That's what's missing. Cats aren't listening anymore. Back when we was growing up, we were the last generation to experience life before social media. So yeah, we had to grab those records to listen to our favorite
We
artists.
just had this
just talked this-
conversation
we
on
just
our
talked about
last
this.
episode about the grind of our generation and how everything now is just like at the touch of a finger. Like you
Yes, yeah.
literally, it's
And
just,
and what's crazy is you got as much information as you need, but kids still don't know nothing. They don't be knowing nothing. I be like, you don't know such and such. You don't know this drummer. You don't know that drummer. What drummers do you listen to? I don't know. Like, how are you a drummer and you don't listen to drummers? You know what I mean? Like, this is I'm telling you. So then
yeah.
I gotta guide them and teach them how to search for drummers. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I I think that's what separates me. Number one, the thing that separates me is just God's anointing. If it wasn't for Him, I think I would sound like every other drummer out here. There's all kinds of talented drummers that are down the street that can outplay me right now, that are younger than me, that are 15 right now. I got a student that's 17 that makes me sweat in all of our lessons because he's just naturally gifted. But I think what makes me stand out is, for one, I for years I've tried to develop a unique sound. I tried to be confident in what I hear. I think people have to take a chance on what they hear, because what you hear and how you hear could be so unique, it's dope. And I think the way that I hear music and the way that I approach drums, the way that I approach phrasing, cats are like, that's a dope way to think about drums. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I play the most complicated thing, because I don't. But it's just the way that I do it. They're like, oh, we mess with that. It's just like Doobie. Doobie doesn't play super difficult chords, but it's Doobie.
You know it's Doobie.
As soon as you, it's funny because I saw y'all's podcast about, you didn't know he had a joint on Feel the Real.
I didn't
I'm
know
surprised.
that was him.
I'm surprised you didn't know it was him
I
just
don't
by
know how I
hearing it.
did. I don't know how I didn't know that, but I didn't know that.
But then,
Yeah,
yeah, he
but
had a he
Ashton
had a
knew.
couple. Yeah, he had a couple joints on there.
I know 3. I
All
think
right.
it kind of ties into 2, like kind of give a little encouragement to the creators. We always ask every artist, because we cater to independent artists over here. You
Yes.
know, what encouragement would you give, like, to another creative who's trying to do the same thing? You know, we all trying to do the work around here, whether it's us bringing y'all on and sharing
Hmm.
light and positivity, or y'all actually out here doing the work? What encouragement would you give, and what do you want people to understand about doing this work in this time?
Um, okay, so for the people, for them to understand, I want them to understand that your support is really, really important.
Yeah.
Your support, whether it's buying an album on iTunes, buying a single on iTunes, like, I don't know, turning your phone down and pressing repeat on a song so the streams can go up, reposting a flyer, reposting a reel, liking a reel, commenting on a reel.
The free
Just,
support. Yes. That's
yes,
important.
like that stuff is important because you just don't know, you don't know what that person has went through to put that music out, or the courage that they had to get to put that music out, or what they're dealing with and going through as far as to get what they need. Not even financial, but just even just in general, just with life in general. So your support is just, it means more than you know to those that don't know. We need that support. We need it. We need it. Every bit of it. Every single person that comments on my videos or, reposts anything, I appreciate it. I don't just look at that as like just a number. Oh, that's just the fit. No, that's one person that actually gave so much of a damn. They're like, damn, this is so dope. Let me put this on my platform.
Right.
That's a big deal when
It
it could be
is.
all about them.
True.
So I'm grateful for that, like genuine support. Um, Encouragement for those that are trying to be an independent artist, that are trying to do this independent thing. Stick at it. It's worth it. The reward when you stick through something and finish it out and you see the light at the end of the tunnel is so fulfilling and therapeutic. This is the freest that I've ever felt in my life. Um, Is it always going to be money? No. But that's when you really, really need to trust God. And we say trust God, but we really don't be trusting God. But when you truly, truly find a way, and I can't tell you how to trust God, you just have to find that within yourself. But once you really, truly let go and have peace, even if your rent is due, somehow, some way, God
That
is going to
sucker works
provide
out, don't he? Every time. Come on,
every
somebody. Somebody, come on.
single time. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, be appreciative of the ones that genuinely support you, even if it's 3 of them. The next time, make it 4. We got to start somewhere. People look at these numbers, they look at followers, they look at likes, and they think they're just failing. And that's not true. It's not true at all. Just keep grinding at it. You know what I'm saying? Keep grinding the best way that you possibly can. Shake hands with as many people as you can. Be a genuine person. Always have a good heart, because people can sense when you don't have a good heart too. So just make
Yes.
sure you check your
Facts.
heart. You know what I'm saying? We all make mistakes. We all make stupid decisions and all that stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's all about our heart posture. It's all about heart posture. You know what I'm saying? And the grace that you give is the grace that you get. So give a ton of
Give
grace.
grace.
There's a ton of people that have done wrong things to us, and yeah, we deserve to punch them in the face. But give them grace, because you probably need to be punched in your face too.
Right when I was getting teary eyed, you'd say that. We're just super
For
passionate about
real.
this music thing for real, like, and just community and just, yes. Like,
What
please,
y'all
y'all.
doing is beautiful.
Oh, we appreciate you. And we
Yeah.
appreciate your support. We appreciate all support. Like, we
Yes.
really just want, like,
Indeed.
me and Ashton were just saying on our last episode, like, how we just want to continue to build this community, like, highlight independent artists and just, it concerns, and how we can find solutions for these concerns within the community, and just sharing light and positivity, support for one another. I feel like too, like, just making sure, like, when you're out there, you're also supporting other creatives, not just yourself or just the
Yeah.
ones doing exactly what you're doing. Like, we're here
Mm-hmm.
for all creatives that are trying to live out their purpose and their dreams. So yes, like we appreciate you being on here and doing the work that you're doing because it helps me. I love your music. We're huge fans.
Yes.
And yes, keep doing the Lord's work.
Heck yeah. Y'all doing the Lord's work though, for real, for real.
So your Mount Rushmore gospel drummers, jazz/fusion drummers, and then music producers.
So what? Like you want me like 5 each category?
Oh, Mount Rushmore is 4. So like
4
much,
of each category?
Yeah.
Oh damn. Okay. So gospel drummers, Marvin McQuitty, Liddell Abrams,
Yes.
Jeremy Haynes, and Calvin Rogers.
All right. That's a dope list, man. I love it. So
all right.
now
what was the next one?
Jazz fusion, which I think you've kind of alluded to it, but let's clarify with that. So jazz fusion.
Okay, so jazz/fusion, Dave Weckl, Vinny Colaiuta,
Vinny.
Steve Gadd.
God Almighty.
Hold on, man. I feel so bad because I just named all 3 white guys. But those and then okay, then we'll put Dennis in there. But you know, there's so many, bro. I can't like what you got. Freaking man, you got so many, bro. I can't name all the ones.
Cindy Blackman.
Yeah, Cindy. Oh, bro, I saw her live. Yeah. I fell in love with her. I was like, I love you.
She's the female Tony Williams to me, man.
Oh yeah, no, she literally is. Like from her drums, she like her drum tones to be Tony Williams. She like the color of her drums to be Tony Williams. Right. The same sizes, the same type of cymbals, all that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love Cindy Blackman.
All right, so
and
then
what was the last question?
Producers.
Okay, so producers. Oh man, Jay Dilla.
Hey.
Doopster.
Doopster.
B Slade. But no, like if you look at all his underground stuff, like all the stuff that he deleted, like I'm like, bro, you're a genius.
Right.
And then I had to say Dr. Dre. Like I'm naming the cats that inspired me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's real.
Like I was on Doggy Style on repeat for months.
Sipping on gin and juice.
Bro, listening to them moves and all that stuff he was using. Like I was in this phase where I was just like, nigga, I'm on West Coast. What's going on with this? Yeah, Dr. Dre. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's a dope list.
Then one more. Actually, this because I asked this with another guest, but this will be. I think it'll be very interesting when your take on this. So,
okay,
the soundtrack to your life. So, give me at least 5 songs that have kind of paralleled your life's journey through music and just through life. So, the soundtrack to your life.
Oh my God. Bro, come on, man.
Welcome to Infotainment Company.
Oh, this is a great question, but this could have been for an hour itself. Okay, what phase of my life, bro?
Well,
that's
college.
For you to decide.
College.
Oh, okay.
No, you gotta
no,
you can't do that. Okay, you said through college?
Yeah, college years, yeah.
Okay. All my college years?
Aaron.
Which phase? Berklee or Indiana?
Well,
no, it's got to be that.
Okay.
It's got to be that specific.
Indiana.
So. Okay, Indiana. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how many do I need to pick?
5.
At least 5.
5.
Yeah. At least 5.
Say no more. Hold on. I got it because it's funny because I got a playlist of that time period. Hold on. Okay, so at that time of my life, I was playing on repeat "Give It All" by Doobie Powell. If you ain't heard that song, y'all need to go listen to that because he's gonna take you to the heavens with that song. I'm gonna let you know. I was going through some stuff with the college college finals, and I was giving it all to him.
Ah.
No, for real, huh? Africa by D'Angelo.
Oh.
Come on here.
That was on repeat because at this time I was dealing with this girl, and every time I would see her, that song would play in my head. And then of course, Feel Like Making Love. That's when I really got into like my D'Angelo bag. I'm thinking like early spring, like 2015. Was that 3?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, ooh, this is when the new D'Angelo came out.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So I was, I had met this one girl, and
Aaron.
it was just love at first sight, and it was the song Really
Really
Love.
love. I already knew what you was about to say.
Okay. And then Another Life.
Come on, somebody. Huh? Somebody, come on.
Yeah.
Well, the church say amen.
Thank you, Ashton. Thank you for being specific because each phase of my life has music attached to it. So you
Man,
can't
we should
just
have
be
did
like,
one song per phase.
like,
this nigga got playlists from
no,
5
I really,
to 10,
I
10 to
do,
15. My
I do,
God.
I do. It's that
5
deep.
songs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That was the soundtrack of your Indiana State, right?
Indiana University.
Indiana University, the soundtrack of your life. That's some good stuff. D'Angelo,
Between,
Doobie.
yep. I mean, some
Come on
honorable
here.
mentions. Kendrick Lamar's record had came out that year too.
Yes. To Pimp a Butterfly.
And so I was on that heavy. That was on the moment that came out. That changed my life. That
Mine
was a
too.
life-changing. That was a life-changing record for me.
Hell yeah.
So
Dope.
yeah,
That's dope.
that was a
Yes.
very, very good time in my life, especially
sir.
my college life. That was a good musical like I don't know. My ears evolved at that moment. I just was hearing just new stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
That is awesome.
Thank you for that. Thank you for those memories. I appreciate y'all for
Oh
that.
yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
I mean, all these interviews last, we say 30 minutes, and every time we have a guest, I love it though. I'm like, we be going for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's crazy how, but I feel like because y'all are always so like doing what you're doing, you don't get a chance to really like tell your journey, your story.
Not at all.
What you're doing. So I'm like, when y'all get the opportunity, it's just like spilling all your guts like a therapy session or something. Like, and I love it.
But for real, but it'll also help somebody else because
Yes.
I know the interviews that I look at other people and I'm like, damn, you went through that, or you had to battle through that. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know whose lives you're changing just based on them clicking on a video and being like, dang, I didn't know Aaron went through that. I didn't know Chaz went through that.
Right.
That's why their music is like this, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
it's our life experiences, and it makes
to be
you
shared. It makes y'all the creatives that you are, and that's even you talking about depression and stuff, because we don't talk a lot about mental health in any kind of community, but especially like the musician community, music community in general. Like it's not
deep.
It's not talked about. And people can look at you and be like, you have 130,000 followers on Instagram. You have this band. You're doing this. You have this. Da 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 da.
Yeah, but they don't.
Human.
And they don't know that I'm
through.
behind on my car note, and they don't know that I gotta pay this bill and I gotta pay that bill. They don't know that my account's negative $37.96, and you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
yes. I mean, and I feel like these platforms, like what we're doing, kind of like humanizes you, because people idolize people and feel like you said, like they're behind and whatever, and they can watch you and hear your story and hear what you're going through and be like, man, they just like me for real. They can do it. I can do it. They're me and I'm them, and that's the point that we're trying to make here. It's just like we are all trying to do the same thing. So it makes me teary-eyed every time, because y'all know how passionate I am about this shit. So
and I'm proud of you, because You've been talking about doing something like this for a minute, so the fact that you doing it,
God had me in a dream. He was like, look, I woke up the next day, hit Ashton up, like, look, this is what the Lord showed me. You down? Like, or what?
heck yeah.
And it's just been off and
I'm
running
proud
from
of y'all.
there. So, yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you, Aaron. Like, we are so
Anytime.
excited for everything that you have coming. We're going to have you back on here. Like, this isn't going to be the only time. So, like,
Whenever y'all need me, I'm
when
here.
1991 drop, you coming back on. Like, we need to break, we're going to have to break that down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe get you and one of your other special guests on there. Like, because we ain't never had 4 people on here at a time, and I'm ready for that.
No.
So,
This is what we'll do then. We'll plan to do something because the next joint that's getting mastered right now is B Slade's.
Oh, yes.
So maybe we can have him on
That
or
would be
something.
awesome.
Yes.
That would be awesome. Listen, amazing.
So this has been an incredible interview for the Invehement Company Music Podcast, the show made by music enthusiasts.
For music enthusiasts.
That's right. Yo, Stix, man, help us wave goodbye and say goodbye to everybody.
Peace out, everybody.
Right.
See you next time. Thank
Peace.
you.